Alright, so once everybody has used halftone to create their individual comic cells, and they have sent them to the person who's going to be responsible for building the comic, that person is going to use PicStitch. So go ahead and on your iPad and locate PicStitch. It's this very first one on the upper left, little 3-quadrant icon here. I'm going to go ahead, and tap this to open it. And when you open it, it gives you a lot of different layouts. So each one of these squares will be a cell within your comic. There's a lot of great layouts here, but unfortunately the one I sort of recommend the most is the one that's the 4-square setup. This one right here at the bottom. The reason that I recommend this one, although it is not as creative, is because halftone is going to make your pictures sort of that square look, that rectangular look, and this 4-up square seems to work the best. But feel free to experiment. Use whichever ones you want. It's just that for the interest of time, this might be your best bet. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on this 4-square setup here. And it gives me this option here. So I'm going to tap right in the center of the upper left-hand box. Right in here. And how it's highlighted. And when I double tap in there, it opens this camera roll. So let me go ahead and tap my camera roll, and now I'm going to locate the image that I just created. Now once again, you remember before I had an editor area, I get another editor area here where I have the ability to enhance, add effects. I can even add stickers if I want, so if I feel like that Zach needs a hat of some sort to really make it work more, then I can add something like that and click apply in the upper right hand corner. But do whatever you feel like you want to do in this general area to make it fit. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to bypass all of these things and hit the done button in the upper right hand corner. Alright, so now you see that I have an image here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and add all 4 images. So I'm just going to double tap into the next cell, choose my camera roll, pick an image, hit done. So now once I have my images in here, this is when I can go back in and change the layout. So let me go back to where I was. All I need to do is at the very bottom of the screen, the very first icon to your left that says layout, if you tap that, it takes you back into this layout area. And so I can go ahead and choose a different layout if I want. But this is how you can see that your photos will not always fit in your new layout. So again, just tap the layout and experiment with a few different ones. If you end up with the 4-square one, it's not a bad thing. Now edit any of the cells that I have selected. So if I single tap on the upper right cell and hit edit, it takes me back to that original menu that I got when I first brought the picture in. I'll hit cancel here. Aspect allows you to play around a little bit with the cell sizes. So if I choose this more rectangular look here, then I'm more apt to be able to get my pictures in. Oops, sorry. Or if I choose this more square look, then I'm back to where I was. So experiment a little bit with what you have here and see what works best to fit your images into your final product. Right, I'm going to choose the 7x5 because that seems to work best for me. And again, just tap the word aspect again to make that menu go away. Color you can sort of leave alone. Color just lets you make it black and white or sepia toned. Now once you have it to this point, I wanted to show you what I was sort of doing when I was explaining aspect. If I take, you won't be able to see this in this demo, but if I take 2 fingers and pinch in to make this image small like that, when I let go, it's going to bounce back to be the size of the cell, or as close to the size of the cell as it can be. So again, I'm going to pinch here and let go. Pinch here and let go, and pinch here and let go. Because this image here, this one of Zach in the bottom corner, you can see that it's a long ways image, whereas these guys here are more of a landscape. This is more of a portrait. So it isn't fitting in this area. So what I can do is I can scroll around until I find the area that I want to show in my cell by just using my finger to drag up and down. So I'm just pressing and holding on the picture and dragging it up and down. So while I was pinching to make it smaller, I can always also take two fingers and expand to zoom in. So if I only want to show this little piece right here, I can zoom in on it. So go ahead and play around with this until you get your final comic looking the way you want. Now I will say, if your comic is more than one page, you do have to build only one page at a time and choose export. This program does not allow you to set up multiple page comics at one time. So go ahead and create one page of your comic and then choose export. And in this case, go ahead and export it to your photo album. Again, exporting it to the photo album kind of saves it for you. Then you can email it later from your photo album or back from here if you want. But it's always good to sort of save it in photo album, and that just keeps that copy for you. So I'm going to save the image in my photo album. Alright, so to create your next one, you're just going to write right over top of this particular product. So again, I'm just going to double tap in here on the first upper left cell and choose a different image for my camera roll. Alright, so then to make your next page, you'll just start by replacing the photos that are inside this cell area. So again, in the upper left corner, I'm going to double tap, go to my camera roll, and choose my next set of images for my second page. See how this is working? And again, when I'm completely finished with this, then I can export this one as well. So go ahead and explore, play around with it. Again, you're going to use halftone to create the individual cells, and then you're going to bring all of those cells into PicStitch here in order to create your final comic page or pages, however many you need. If you have any questions, Amy and I will be available to help you at any time. Please feel free to ask. And have fun. Be creative. This should be a good time.